Today, celebrity is the easiest thing to obtain. Every day, someone new, beautiful, and funny gets retweeted on Twitter or posts a video and gets hundreds of...
I don't think... Sorry, I'm stopping already. I don't think celebrity... I feel like people use celebrity wrong. Like, people become celebrities every day. Or, like, anyone could become a celebrity. Like, I'm not a celebrity. Like, hell, I don't even consider, like XQC a celebrity. You know, I don't know. It's different. Yeah, TikTok people aren't celebrities. You're a celebrity in my heart. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people would literally go up to me and think that I'm a celebrity. And I'm not.
We're drinking water while these
close.
peasants starve.
Spoiler. Tupac dies at the end.
The fuck?
Of thousands of views, which equates to thousands of dollars, which then turns into brand deals, which then turns into an entire career. People like Brittany Broski, Sarah Shower, Drew Gooden, and more post short...
Who? I don't know who those... I know Drew Gooden, that's about it.
10-second clips and gain millions of followers almost at once, changing their lives forever. Suddenly, people are telling you that you saved their life, simply by...
Dude, this is TikTok. Wait, no. This is TikTok right here.
Posting. People are
Wait,
telling you that you saved their life simply by posting forever. Suddenly, people are telling you that you saved their life.
That's fucking TikTok, man. Like, right? That's TikTok, baby. That's TikTok.
Simply by posting. People are sending you gifts and fan mail, telling you that you make their life better just by existing. And now you're getting money just by doing the things you were doing anyway.
That's TikTok, baby.
What could be better? While social media stardom can seem incredibly alluring, there is ultimately a dark side, because how can you ever be sure who is on the other side of the screen? And how can you keep yourself safe when you don't know that you're in danger? Welcome back to another episode of Dreading. Today we are going to be talking about the case of Bianca Devins, which was requested by one of our subscribers who unfortunately watched this case in real time. And unfortunately, a lot of this case happened in real time and was live streamed on social media, which makes it extremely easy to stumble upon disturbing material even if you weren't looking for it. Due to how available graphic images surrounding this case are online, I do want to warn you not to Google Bianca's name, and to be wary if you feel compelled to look up any part of this case. While researching, I unfortunately found multiple images that I didn't wish to see, and it's my responsibility to let you know before you search. All links in the comment section of this video will likewise be filtered, so nothing graphic is posted or shared. The family has made it clear that they do not want these images out there, and so they will not be shared here. Before we begin, I do want to take a moment
Dude, that's like a very rough intro. This is making me nervous.
At the time of recording, we just passed 2 months of uploading and hit 25,000 subscribers. I didn't foresee this growth in such a short amount of time.
25,000, damn, dude. Where are you at now? Holy shit. Was it March? Damn, you're popping off. Good job, dude. Plumboo, thank you so much for the prime.
But nonetheless, I am incredibly thankful. Because of the content that I make and the continued issues that channels like mine have with YouTube, I didn't think growing at this rate would be possible. I have opened a Patreon, which I will link below, and will be making one Patreon exclusive video per month, with other perks like early access to videos full-time.
Right.
In most reporting around this case, Bianca Devins is mischaracterized as a famous e-girl with a huge online following, which is entirely untrue. Bianca's social media did boost thousands of followers prior to her passing, but she was in no way a social media icon that other publications stated she was. She wasn't making a living online, and her followers
popping us up for this guy. Do it, chat. By the way, chat, this guy's name is Dreading Crime and Psychology. Which, hell, I might even watch more of his videos in the future if he does crime and psychology.
People she talked to often. She wasn't famous. She didn't have fans. She was simply chronically online, the way so many other teens are. Growing up...
If it's graphic, will go against TOS. He said everything's censored. As long as there's no blood or anything like that, then we don't have to worry about it.
Bianca was a spitfire. Her mother, Kim, had gotten pregnant when she was just 17, after dating Bianca's father for a few months. The relationship between Kim and Bianca's father, Mike, wasn't good, with Mike being equal parts emotionally abusive and distant, with multiple police reports backing up her claims. But Kim did all she could to take care of Bianca and her younger sister. Bianca was rambunctious and spirited, interested in everything that she saw. More than that, Bianca was incredibly protective, fighting at a young age with her father about how he treated her.
Sorry, one second. Me and him love watching you. So does my mom. Thanks for... Bro, the whole fam? The whole fam? Thank you, Plumboo. Sorry, I had to read that because someone said that their mom watched
her mother. Then later, protecting her younger sister in the same way. Bianca was the type of person who everyone wanted on their side. She was unafraid of conflict and always tried to do what she believed was right. She cared more than the average person, taking time to get to know the people around her to a degree most wouldn't. And when asked, one of her classmates who had been bullied stated that he believed that she was the only person in their class that had actually been nice to him throughout his 4 years in high school. God damn it. That she was the only person who tried to get to know him for him.
Stop building up her character. It's going to make me feel worse.
Despite the fact that Bianca was incredibly forthright and caring to those around her, she wasn't able to give that love to the one who needed it the most, herself. According to her mother, when Bianca entered middle school, it was like a switch flipped in her mind. And suddenly she lost interest in everything. She had been incredibly popular early in her school career. However, with the exception of a handful of classmates, Bianca shut herself off from the rest of the world, suddenly becoming incredibly shy and anxious in social situations. Even going outside would start to become a problem for Bianca. She almost fully retreated from the outside world, with the exception of going to school, and instead began to start posting online. She became obsessed with anime, Minecraft, and meme culture. She would
my God, that's me!
Spend hours on her phone and on the family computer, choosing to stay in rather than go out with her friends and family. She found that online she
Twitch
could project
recommended
the perfect
me?
image of herself, the person who she felt she was always falling short of being. It was then that she began to post under multiple different names, such as Switchblades, Bia, Oxycontin, BGTFO, and more. The change in Bianca was startling and concerning to those around her, and her mother made it a point to try and get her professional help. She took her to multiple therapists, where they sat down and went over the extreme change that had seemingly manifested out of nowhere, but none of the therapists they saw could determine what had happened. It's just growing pains, they said. She'd sort herself out. They quickly wrote the changes off as just teen girl things and sent them on their way. However, Bianca's behavior would continue to worry those around her. After entering high school, Bianca began to be bullied. She was 5'10", pale, and stuck out amongst her peers. Her interest in anime and Japanese fashion made her stand out even more, with the majority of her classmates not sharing her interests and finding them off-putting. On multiple of her social media accounts, remnants of this bullying remains, with anonymous posters telling her she's ugly, addicted to drugs, and should hurt herself. To those, she did...
Dude, what is wrong with teenagers, man? Oh my God, dude. What is wrong with teenagers, dude? Just stop. Holy shit.
Spend time with. She became known as a kind-hearted but erratic person. She would spend hours talking to others about their issues, allowing them to vent whatever frustrations they had to her. But when asked about herself, she would lie for seemingly no reason. On one occasion, she told a friend that she was Jewish, which she wasn't, and that she had been diagnosed with autism. To a former boyfriend, she told them she was Asian, then later changed that and said she was Cuban. Bianca's behaviors, though concerning, were once again hand-waved by most around her as just teenage girl things. She was simply lying to gain a certain amount of attention from those around her, and she'd grow out of it.
That makes sense.
It wasn't until she began to have panic attacks at the prospect of going outside that Kim realized that something...
There's so many problems with people just like writing it off as something not that serious. God, I hate that. Like, I hate when people write off like genuine problems as like, oh, it's they'll get over it. It'll get better. That happens way too much, man. Where people don't like, it's always because people don't take shit seriously, and then it's too late.
Something was very wrong. Loud sounds and sudden movements became too much for her, and if she was overstimulated, she would have a mental breakdown. Halfway through her sophomore year in high school, Kim pulled her out to pursue homeschooling, wanting to help her daughter. She was also formally diagnosed with PTSD as well as borderline personality disorder, and began getting treatment for both, which greatly helped her. On Bianca's Telenym account, Bianca acknowledged her own struggles with mental health from when she was in high school. Someone anonymously sent her this message. You are the most mentally unstable person I know, and you wear it like a badge of honor. Your life is nothing but struggle because you won't even try to improve yourself, instead opting down the same path of self-destruction and vice. Being mentally unhinged isn't something to be proud of, especially if it's ruining your life. Just quit this shitty facade and face reality, you fucking coward. To which Bianca replied, this would have been true like last year. In response to another comment, Bianca wrote, I was 15 to 16, and I was stupid and made a lot of bad decisions. My personality hasn't changed much, besides being better now. In another post on the same forum, a seemingly separate anonymous account wrote to her saying, I really care about you and want you to live a fulfilling life. You're better than who you were, and I really hope you make it in life. To which she replied, this means a lot to me. I'm going through some weird stuff right now, but I have come a long way since a few years ago. Because Bianca had been taken out of school, she delved further into the internet, choosing to present herself as different, idealized versions of herself. She wanted people...
Oh man, the internet. Guys, just don't get on the internet. Get off. Stop watching me. Get off the internet, man. What are you doing watching me? God, I hate the internet, dude. Here's the thing. Let me rephrase that. Internet's fine. Internet addiction is bad. You need balance. You know what I mean? Because when it's... I've been there. I've been there where I was a full-on internet addict, where I was a cave dweller. Every day I sat at my desk and all I'm doing is gaming. I'm talking to people on Discord. You know what I mean? And I was depressed. I was depressed as hell doing that. Balance is hard though. I agree. But it's just, everything is good in moderation. The old saying, everything really is good in moderation, because internet is great. It's an amazing thing to have. But when you're obsessed with it and you're addicted to it, like, it could literally annihilate your entire life and mess up your brain with different, like holding different personas and perceiving yourself differently on the internet than you perceive yourself IRL. And then you relate yourself more to the internet personality. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of layers to it, man. All I'm saying is take a break sometimes.
People to see her not as who she was, but who she dreamed she could be, which materialized in her having different multiple accounts and talking to people under various aliases. In her mind, who she was in real life was disappointing and unlovable, and LARPing as other people was the only way to get people to truly love her.
LARPing as other people.
Talk about drug use, eating disorders, and self-harm, but it's entirely unclear how much of this Bianca had actually done and how much she was simply, in her words, cosplaying. She was also incredibly bullied on these accounts, with people claiming that she wasn't mentally ill and was just an attention-seeking sociopath. And it would...
God damn it, that was a bad time. That was the worst alert to pop up. But thank you anyway. Tad Ubnoon. Yeah. Thank you for the prime.
Only get worse the farther and farther into online culture she delved. It was around that time that Bianca found 4chan, the anonymous image board community.
No! No, not 4chan. Oh, God, dude. Oh, God, no. No. Run. Why?
Found the site and quickly began posting. Because of her appearance, youth, and the fact that she was one of the only girls posting on the image board, Bianca quickly garnered a small audience of dedicated men who are obsessed with her. In an interview about her murder, a friend of Bianca's named Erica Rose, who also posted to 4chan in the same boards of Bianca, talked about how Bianca would engage with the men who followed her, and how she was ultimately too nice to them. These men, who she referred to as orbiters, were obsessed about the girls they followed, to the point of being dangerous. Because girls were so rare to find on the board, men would become obsessed with them, particularly if they were underage.
Dude, she literally just jumped into the lion's
den. These men would send these girls gifts and adoration with the hope that they would give them some form of attention back, with many demanding...
Do we orbit you? Yes. Yes. You do. Orbit me, chat. Orbit me now.
Nudes for their time and efforts. The gifts could be innocent, like stuffed animals, clothing, or even money, but sometimes they would go so far as to send the girls drugs. The more elaborate and expensive the gift, the more it was generally felt the girl owed. Much like celebrity stalkers who feel they have a relationship with someone they have never met, these men create an entirely false ideal of who the person behind the screen was. They romanticize them to the point where they stop being a person. And the moment she were to do something to fall out of favor with their idea of who she is supposed to be, the illusion is shattered. The result is oftentimes incredibly dangerous. In the same article, Erica describes different scenarios of things she had seen happen when the orbiter's illusion is shattered. In most cases, she said, it usually involves the girl being doxxed or her nudes being leaked. That is seemingly the best case scenario, and one that was alarmingly common. In other cases, she stated that some of these men have threatened outright violence and arrived at the girls' homes unannounced, threatening to kill them and their families. Again, in most cases, this would be happening to underage girls, still living at home. In one extreme instance, a girl talked about how a man called in a mass shooting threat to her school, something she wasn't sure if he would actually follow through on. The FBI had been called in to check the veracity of the threat, and all because she had done something to upset this man's idea of who she was. These were the people who Bianca was spending the majority of her time talking to online, and these were the people who were making her feel seen and loved, sending her gifts and praise every time she so much as posted a picture of herself. She had no idea that they were grooming her. One of the people Bianca met on 4chan was her ex-boyfriend, whose real name has largely been kept out of the public, but for the sake of this video, we will call him Rob. Rob was 18 when he met Bianca on 4chan. At the time, she was just 15 years old. They began talking on a board.
Oh, I really don't like Rob.
Meant for hookups, and after 2 weeks of talking and meeting up, she asked him to be her boyfriend. Rob, like Bianca, was dealing with a plethora of mental health issues, as well as substance abuse issues. According to Bianca's mother, the pair was toxic, and seemed to feed off the drama between them. They were on and off for 2 years, constantly fighting and breaking up, then getting back together as if nothing had happened. On a number of occasions, Bianca ran away from home to be with Rob, with a total of 3 missing persons reports being filed before she turned 17, and each time she would be found with Rob. According to Rob, Bianca...
Okay, now it's just starting to sound like that's the parents' fault. What the fuck? 3 missing person cases? Hello, parents? Your daughter's running away. Maybe you should, take care of that situation.
Felt as if he were the only person who truly loved her, and that she was otherwise alone in the world. Because of that, Bianca would overlook some of his worst qualities, because she would rather be with him than be alone.
That's
Kim didn't
grooming,
like Rob
dude.
for a variety of reasons. Not least was the fact that when Bianca broke up with him the first time, he had gone and posted a video of him and Bianca having sex online. The video was taken, once again, when Bianca was just 15, and was taken without her knowledge or consent. Upon...
That's so disgusting. Oh, that's so disgusting.
On finding this out, Kim and Bianca went to the police, as what he did not only constituted as revenge porn, but also child porn. Rob then told Bianca that the charges, despite being accurate to what he had done, would ruin his life, and he was going to kill himself and leave a note blaming her. After hearing that, Bianca stopped cooperating with the police, and charges were ultimately dropped, with her stating that she no longer wanted to pursue legal action. Kim was furious, wanting to prosecute the adult man who was taking advantage of her daughter and shared child porn of her, but Bianca wouldn't budge.
Yeah, I would be a little bit mad. Just, a little,
And after a couple of days, got back together with Rob. Trying once more to get her daughter help, Kim placed Bianca on a persons in need of supervision hold, which meant that Bianca had to wear an ankle monitor at all times, and was placed under house arrest. Kim knew that it was only a matter of time before Bianca tried to run away again, and
maybe just parent your child. Just parent your child a bit more, Maybe give her that love that she needs. That she's running to that pedophile in order to get that love. Because she feels like no one loves her. Maybe be a parent and be there for her. I don't know.
She hoped that the ankle monitor would prove to be good enough of a deterrent for her, but it did little to stop Bianca as she cut the monitor off and
yeah, it's completely understandable. By the way, it's completely understandable if you want to like take a step out, like, because this is pretty triggering stuff. So don't feel bad if you need to take a step out. I understand. Thank you for the 100 bits, only Deceptic.
tried to run away to be with Rob again. After a good amount of back and forth, Bianca was moved to St. Anne Institute, a mental health facility in Albany, New York. It was here that Bianca was able to make incredible strides in her mental health and well-being. In an Instagram post for Mother's Day, Bianca wrote from St. Anne's, "I couldn't be here last summer. I was supposed to spend a lot of time with my mother and my stepmother, and I'm sorry that I couldn't do that. So I photoshopped myself in pictures where I couldn't be there. You guys have always been there for me, and I know you do the most for me, even if I can't see it. When I was at my worst, you were here for me, even if not physically. You called me every day. You tried to see me as much as you could. A lot of the other kids didn't have that. They always told me how lucky I was to have you, and I didn't see that myself. But I've learned so much, and I appreciate you more now than I ever have. You gave me a card and you wrote me so much that you had to write 'Love Mom' off the page. LOL. I really cried while reading it, and I read it a lot. It meant a lot to me that you would express yourself like that, because I've had such a hard time expressing how grateful I am for you. Thank you, Kaylee, for the same. Even though you weren't related by blood, you've given me so much kindness and the motherhood times two. You and I have been through similar things. You can relate to me and understand my actions, and you've been through a lot. I hope that I can make you as happy as you make me. You're so important to me, and I'm glad that you're in my life. You've been such a wonderful mother to Maddie, and I'm glad I have you and
parent your child now. Just put a tracker on her ankle. Parenting. Yeah, I know, right?
all of your kids. When I'm feeling down, I think of how special I am to have you all. I hope I can make you both proud of me. I'm doing my best for both of you, because I love you too. Even when I'm off at college, I'll be with you all every day of my life, even when I transfer, LOL. With 8 months of not being home, we've grown stronger than ever as a family. I love you guys so much, and happy Mother's Day." When Bianca got back in February of 2019, her family could see a tremendous difference. She was in a better spot mentally and was flourishing. Now with the drive to study and pursue psychology while at college, she began to reconnect with her friends, people who she had previously believed hated her because of her mental health, and it seemed she had nowhere to go but up. But all that changed when she met Brandon Clark. Before we talk about Brandon Clark,
he looks like a good guy. Dad of man accused of killing once threatened.
First need to talk about his father, Jason, because as it would turn out, Brandon took after his father in an incredibly disturbing way. Not much is known about Jason other than he is Brandon's father, and that after what his son did, he was quoted as saying he believed that he raised his son right. However, in 2010, when Brandon would have been 12, Jason, believing that his wife was cheating on him, held her hostage for over 10 hours, at which point he beat her and held a butcher's knife up to her throat while screaming that he was going to kill her and then himself. The attack...
What the fuck? Where's... What... What is happening?
The attack started out of nowhere, with Jason accusing his wife of sleeping with a mutual acquaintance while she was talking with her mother, who lived with them at the time. She laughed off his accusation, stating he was being ridiculous, and went back to talking to her mom, which only further angered him. He jumped on top of her and started beating her wildly. Her mother was horrified and ran to the phone to call 911. Jason followed her, and when she picked up the phone, he tore it out of the wall. Somehow, she was able to escape Jason and run out of the home and to a neighbor's, where she was able to call for help. By that time, Jason had barricaded him and his wife in the home, and had picked up a knife, intending on using it to kill her and then himself. When the police arrived on site, they recalled seeing him bash Michelle's head into a wall, causing her to be covered in her own blood, and had her call out to the police that she was being held hostage. He forced her to state multiple times that he was going to kill her and then himself, and that if anyone approached the home, she would die. After a couple of hours, Jason began to cry and apologize to Michelle.
This is way worse. This is way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Michelle, wrapping her up in a blanket and stating he didn't mean to hurt her as badly as he did. After 10 hours, he allowed her to leave, and he was arrested. Jason was then charged with felony assault, criminal possession of a weapon, unlawful imprisonment, aggravated criminal contempt, misdemeanor menacing, and obstructing government administration. Worse still is that it's currently unknown if Brandon was in the home at the time and witnessed any of this. Many who are familiar with the case hypothesize that he had been in the house, or at the very least had witnessed his father doing this exact same thing before.
I'm assuming...
With the standoff being 10 hours long, involving every member of his family, it is likely that even if Brandon weren't in the home at the start of the attack, he was privy to the media circus outside and witnessed the end. The parallels between what Jason did here and what Brandon would later go on to do raise many red flags, and lead most who know about Jason's actions to theorize that Brandon was replicating his father. Brandon Clark was...
Yeah, anyone got a joke to lighten up the mood a bit? People are saying trigger warning for what happens next. All right, well, I think we could have said trigger warning a long time ago. I mean, okay, well, I'll say it again. It's probably gonna get worse. If you want to go, feel free to go. Fair warning.
Was a disturbing individual. While friends and acquaintances came forward to talk about their positive experiences with Bianca, the opposite was true for Brandon, as it seemed everyone in his life thought something was wrong with him, with a slight exception given for his parents. They both agreed that they raised him well, which was absolutely not the case. His father was arrested for assaulting his mother and holding her hostage. His mother was also arrested, and he was sent into foster care. And while Brandon appeared fine on the outside, coming off as a well-meaning...
Oh, someone just joined? Man, okay, that's why.
Obsessed sexually with young girls. When he was 16, his friends stated that he was infatuated with lolicon. Japanese media...
Oh my God! This is why every time I hear that someone likes lolicon, it is a giant red flag. There's literally people I've talked to who are like, oh, it's not... lolicon is fine. No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, I didn't mean to get aggressive. It just angers me. Oh, it angers me that lolicon's even a thing. The fuck is lolicon? Anime child porn. I don't know if I should have said that aloud on stream, saying the CP, but a little bit too late now.
That featured young girls as romantic and oftentimes sexual interests. He had read thousands of manga featuring sexual drawings.
It should be illegal, I agree.
And when his friends found out, they were horrified. It was clear to them that Brandon was interested in minors from the material alone that they were confronting him about. Brandon tried to play it off as being just a preference in reading material and not something...
Oh my God, that's the dude. I'm gonna start, dude. Should bro, like, I've heard these arguments before. I've heard these arguments
he
before.
Would pursue in real life, until it was found out that he had been texting and grooming a 12-year-old at the same time, trying to get her to be his girlfriend and send him sexual images of herself. After being confronted about his actions, Brandon responded to his friends saying, "Trust me, you're better off not being concerned about the shit I do or think of doing, because you won't like what you see." His friends stopped talking to him after that, and it seemed as if they never reported his actions to any kind of authority. Brandon was a predator before meeting Bianca, seeking to groom and be with young women just like her. And through trial and error, he had learned how to come across as the perfect gentleman who only wanted what was best. He had skillfully created a mask that would allow him to gain access to the person he set his sights on. And unfortunately, that person was Bianca. Bianca and Brandon met through Instagram and became fast friends. He was 21 and she had just turned 17. And to him, she was perfect.
God.
She was slender and looked young. And because of her sweet, trusting nature, he was drawn to her. He showered her with adoration and attention, something that she mistook as friendship. Given her years of posting on 4chan, he would comment on every post that she made, stating how beautiful she was and how lucky he was to have her in his life. If she posted to her Instagram story...
Bro, they're still on 4chan, man? Come on.
He was in her DMs within seconds. And almost overnight, he had woven himself into the fabric of her life. Bianca was upfront with Brandon about her wants out of their relationship. She didn't feel anything more than platonic feelings towards him, and she often placated his compliments by reminding him that they were just friends, and she wasn't looking to start a relationship with anyone because she was going to be going to to college in the fall. She was going to be starting a new chapter in her life, and a boyfriend didn't fit in that picture. They had hooked up a couple of times previously, but Bianca was clear. She saw him as a friend and nothing more. However, Brandon didn't care. He was dead set on her becoming his girlfriend, so much that he had already begun to refer to himself as her boyfriend around her family. Brandon had integrated himself into her life so effortlessly.
Should these people be chemically castrated? That's as close as you can get to solving the problem. But like, really, like, I feel like that could be a thing, because it's like, yeah, I mean, what else can you do, man? Like, I mean, like, there's so many people who are like sexually attracted to kids who haven't done anything yet, but have the potential to do something. You know what I mean? And like, you can't just lock them up just because they have a sexual attract. You can't just lock them up for watching lollies. You know what I mean? Because that's legal. Like, you could do that. You think it's about to be a thing somewhere? God, I hope so. Just physically castrate him? True. Take him out behind the barn.
That he had even charmed her mother. Upon meeting Brandon, Kim was blown away by how open and honest he was about his life. He told her about his harsh upbringing and how difficult life had been for him, but stopped short of letting her know how obsessed he was with her daughter. After the nightmare that Bianca had gone through with Rob...
Not the best topic for Twitch, bro. I literally watch true crime stuff almost every stream. Like, I've heard worse stuff than this, all right?
Brandon seemed like a breath of fresh air. His actions were methodical and pre-planned, as he hoped that by getting close to Kim, she would encourage Bianca to be with him. However, unbeknownst to him, Kim did the opposite. She knew her daughter didn't want to be tied down, and while she trusted Brandon and thought he was an upstanding person at the time, she knew that his feelings clearly superseded Bianca's, and he wanted more than she was willing to give. She encouraged Bianca to be open and upfront with him, and stop accepting gifts from him, as it was giving him the wrong idea. Kim told Bianca that she was unintentionally leading Brandon on, and it would be better if she stopped hanging out with him as much, at least until he found someone else to focus on romantically. But Bianca assured her mother they were just friends. He was okay with them not being together, and when Bianca asked her mother if it would be okay for her to go to her first concert by herself since coming back from St. Anne's, Kim was reassured by the fact that Brandon would be going with her, but there was no way for her to know what he had planned. Prior to the concert, Bianca had been speaking on Discord to a boy who she was interested in. While she wasn't seeking a relationship before going off to college, she thought this boy was cute and sweet, and wanted to get to know him a bit better.
I know what's coming, but I don't want to hear
awkward, and she knew that he had never so much as been kissed, which she thought was cute. They had been speaking for about a week prior to the concert and planned to meet up while there. Bianca was drawn to how sincere and innocent he was and wanted to be his first kiss. Because Brandon would be driving to the concert, and because she wanted to be honest with him, she told him that she would be meeting up with someone else, someone who she was interested in. She asked him if he would be okay with that, or if it would be a better idea for her to just go by herself. And outwardly, Brandon seemed not to mind. He told her that he would be fine with it, seeing as they weren't together. But that couldn't have been further from the truth. After his conversation with Bianca, he had begun Googling how to find and cut a carotid artery and how to incapacitate someone. He then...
Yeah, just jump to that. Just jump straight to that, dude. Yeah, yep. Instead of expressing that you're upset about it, just how do I absolutely kill, how do I kill someone as quick as possible?
Put a knife and a large tarp in the back seat of his car and waited, knowing that the day of the concert, he would enact his plan. The day of the concert, Brandon had made a checklist on his phone of things he wanted to do that day, which included him changing his Instagram bio to display his date of death, that being that very day. And the
what the fuck?
Quote, "Just know that I feel no pain now." He also posted a quote from the book Fight Club that states, This is your life, and it ends 1 minute at a time. He then put his laptop, his computer's hard drive, a can of spray paint, and a lighter in the back of his car with a tarp and the knife. Brandon picked up Bianca from her house, and after saying goodbye to her mom and assuring her he would bring her back safely, the pair left to go to the concert. While on the way, Bianca was chatting with others on
Guys, this is why no one should ever use 4chan ever.
Both in her voice and text chat. She was in high spirits, excited to see one of her all-time favorite artists and talk to the cute guy who she was interested in, completely unaware of the horror Brandon had in store for her. During the concert, Brandon and Bianca had met up with her Discord friend. According to Bianca's messages, the pair had kissed twice and held hands, which angered Brandon. Bianca knew he was pissed at her for the situation, but thought very little of it, seeing as they had already discussed what was going to happen. She was on cloud 9 and messaged her friend about how amazing the night had been. While driving home, Bianca fell asleep in the back seat of Brandon's car. While she was sleeping, he took this photo while driving and posted it to his Instagram story, which read, "Here comes hell. It's redemption, right?" He then drove to a dead-end road close to where Bianca had gone to high school, and while she was sleeping, got out of the car, went to the trunk and pulled out a knife, all while filming himself on his phone. He then got back into the car and woke her up, proceeding to ask her about her kissing the other guy. Bianca apologized to him, stating that she didn't mean to upset him in any way, but then proceeded to make it clear that they weren't in a relationship and doesn't see him that way. She also reminded him that they had already talked about this before, and her mind hadn't changed. According to the police who have seen the footage, Bianca made it clear they weren't together and they were never going to be together. Brandon then struck Bianca in the face, causing her to fall backwards, stunned and confused as to what had just happened because Brandon had never been violent towards her before. Bianca threatened to get out of the car and walk the rest of the way home, but before she could realize the gravity of the situation, Brandon had pulled out his knife and cut her throat. According to those who have seen the video, Bianca had no idea.
Seen the video? What? What do you mean seen the video?
Was coming and didn't have a chance to fight back or defend herself. Brandon then turned the camera off, only to immediately start.
He streamed it or he recorded it? He said it already? Sorry, I was like... sorry, I was half in shock of hearing what it said. So he actually recorded it.
Recording once more, recording her last breath before taking pictures of her body. He then logged on to his Discord and posted a photo of her dead body in his car, under which he wrote, "Sorry fuckers, you're going to have to find somebody else to orbit." He then posted those same photos to his Instagram with the caption,
"Oh my God."
Bianca." At first, people didn't know what to make of his posts. The gore was alarming, but some thought it was just that, a terrible joke paired with a disturbing image from a movie meant to shock. Some of Bianca's friends saw the post and tried to reverse image search it, hoping it was a still from a movie or a photo shoot. And when asked where the image was from, Brandon responded, "From my fucking car, I fuck Bianca, dumbass." After which he told them to subscribe to PewDiePie, which was a meme.
Is that 2 instances? Is that actually 2 instances of murders relating to someone saying subscribe to PewDiePie? Because wasn't there a shooting where someone said subscribe to PewDiePie and this too? What the fuck?
Meme at the time, referencing the subscriber race between PewDiePie and T-Series. It had also previously been said by another person who had live streamed a violent attack. Once people realized what they were looking at and that he wasn't joking, the cops were called. However, they had no idea as to where Brandon was. The story began to pick up steam online, and quickly. Bianca's name started to trend, with people posting her dead body onto Twitter and other social medias. Hashtag RIP Bianca was filled with images of her dead body, with even more people not understanding what was going on and why they were seeing it. News began to spread like wildfire of a young girl who had been killed, and various false reports.
How did I not hear of this?
Some sites claimed that Brandon was her boyfriend. Others said that he was an online stalker. And various sites tried to blame Bianca herself for the attack, saying that she was leading him on and deserved it.
Why do they post pictures? Bro, it's the internet, man. It's the internet. Like, I don't know what else to say. The internet.
The news at the time actually had a grasp as to what had happened, and they would continue to spread false information for weeks after. It wasn't until 7:30 a.m. when Brandon himself called 911, letting them know that he was on Poe Street, which was a dead-end road in Utica. He joked to the 911 operator that he had just committed a murder-suicide and had to go, because he had to do the suicide part. It's important to note that he was laughing and joking during this time, which we know because he was still filming himself. Despite saying he wanted to die, it would appear that wasn't quite the case. Instead of killing himself,
subscribe PewDiePie some kind of sleeper agent code? No, dude. It's just like I don't know, edgy kids, man. Like that's all it is. Like let's be real. There's probably a lot of people who watch PewDiePie who are like, you know, leafy viewers. Like they're edgelords. They're like, they love memeing. They're just memers. They literally are on 4chan all the time. Like, what do you expect?
By the car, burning his laptop and hard drive, most likely because it contained further evidence of him.
He's not a kid. Mentally, he is, yes.
Planning the murder, and his pedophilic obsession with young girls. He also had spray painted the words, "May you never forget me," on the ground, showcasing how he truly wanted to gain fame and notoriety. He then began to live stream to his Instagram followers while lying on a green tarp that he had placed over Bianca's body. News of what he had done had already broken.
Dear
so
Lord.
As he laid on the tarp covering Bianca's body, thousands of people watched and recorded, wondering what he would do next. It wasn't until the police arrived on scene that Clark finally tried to kill himself. He put a knife to his throat and tried to cut, but stopped, seemingly after he realized how much it would hurt. After his pathetic
oh my God, what a
attempt to injure himself,
He
took a selfie showing his wounded throat, captioning it "Ashes to Ashes," and posted it to his Instagram story. The officers on the scene had no idea what they were walking into, how many weapons he had, or what he had planned on doing, so they stayed a respectable distance away, something Brandon clearly hadn't thought of. He had, it seemed, hoped they would immediately disarm him while he tried to injure himself, but instead they just watched as he did so, confused. After Brandon posted the photo, the police called out to him, asking him where Bianca was. He responded, "Where the fuck do you think she is?" before pointing to the small clump of dark hair sticking out of the tarp. After Brandon was treated for his failed attempt to cut his own throat, he was released into police custody, where they tried to interrogate him about what had happened. But Brandon was far too interested in how the news media was covering the killing and how
oh my God, dude. That's always what it comes down to, doesn't it?
How the world at large was reacting. He had done this to be famous, and it worked. According to various articles, Brandon had killed Bianca in order to showcase that he wasn't another pushover beta male orbiter, and that he
oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
wasn't like other guys who got rejected. He wanted to show that he was strong, and that he took what he wanted. And it seemed that Brandon had done just that. But whatever joy Brandon got from killing Bianca
what
and
a
posting her
fucking
body to Instagram
incel.
was short-lived though, as when he appeared in court, he was haggard and looked worse for wear. He had done this to become famous, to send the message that he wasn't the kind of guy who would be pushed around and rejected by women. But by the time
wow, what a badass. Holy shit. What a fucking bottom eater, dude. Wow. He's got the incel look, man. He's got the incel look on par, dude.
he appeared in court, most news articles had characterized him
the loathsome
as just
dung
that,
eater,
a
pretty
stupid,
much.
pedophilic man who couldn't be told no. Despite purposely bringing the murder weapon, a tarp, and other items used in the murder, posting images of her dead body and confessing to being the one who killed her via livestream, Clark initially pleaded not guilty to the charge of second-degree murder when he went to court, July 29th of 2019. He began to write letters from prison to various people in news media, stating that he had blacked out during the murder and simply didn't remember what had happened, that he lost control and couldn't recall simple details until he came to the police interrogation.
Wow.
It was clear that he was going to try and plead insanity, or at the very least, diminished capacity. However, once he was notified that the police had been able to recover his internet search history that clearly showed how far in advance he had planned to murder Bianca, he changed his plea to guilty. On March 16th, 2021, almost 2 years after her death, Brandon was sentenced to 25 years to life. Unfortunately, this is not where this case ends, because in July of 2021, Bianca's family sued the Oneida County District Attorney's Office for distribution of child pornography. According to the lawsuit, the Devins had learned from a producer of a documentary about Bianca that they had been sent footage of Bianca's murder, as well as videos of her having sex that was used as evidence in the trial. They were also given access to nude photos of Bianca, which all constituted child pornography. Given that Bianca had died before she was able to
what's even the
turn 18. These images and videos were also allegedly sent to a YouTuber who had been covering the case, who was one of the people that Brandon had been corresponding with. And while the Freedom of Information Act does allow for evidence to be shared, the Oneida County District Attorney's Office had no right to distribute the video of her death or images of her underage naked body. The trial is still ongoing, but shows how even in death, Bianca is still being victimized. What followed Bianca's tragic murder was nothing less than a mess. Multiple different communities mischaracterized what had happened in order to suit their own narrative and agenda, and very few people actually know what happened. Some sites reported that Bianca was a mentally unwell man-eater who abused Brandon to the point of madness and deserved.
Bro, what the fuck? I'm done. I can't hear this anymore. People mocked her death. I remember seeing a makeup artist quite literally recreate Bianca's appearance from the crime scene photos after it took place. Literally made it seem like some fashionable makeup look when Bianca was literally dead in the pictures. God, I hate the internet, dude. Oh, I hate the internet. I hate it. I hate it. I hate the internet.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.